No. April just stepped on a dog's squeaky toy on her way out. I hope you guys picked that up. April stepped right on a squeaky toy on her way upstairs. So we've been covering Opie, and he's been talking to the corn, and he's been, being far more likable lately. He's been having people on his live stream, and he had Zumak on recently, and like watching those two suck each other's dick because they feel like they need each other, or because they both hate Anthony. Whatever the reason was, it just came off as really sad. I probably watched a total of 2.5 minutes of it, and I got physically ill because I was like, first of all, like most of the things these two do, it wasn't interesting. It wasn't good. But then also, you're just watching it like, do you two have any dignity at all? Neither of you have anything in common. You're using each other. Well, then that turned into, over the weekend, Anthony had a funny tweet. Now, I'll be honest, I did not think that people took this seriously. I thought that we all thought that Anthony was joking around. He was at a bar, and he tweeted out a video of a guy who had sat down in a booth, and he said, look who just walked into the restaurant I'm at. And it was a guy who kind of looked like Opie, but I kind of was of the assumption that we all believed it wasn't Opie, and that it was just kind of a funny joke. Well, Opie heard about it, and if we're talking about new Opie here and like redeemed Opie, this bottle opener sucks an asshole.
I also forgot the beers on the counter. That's hence the frosty glasses. Sorry.
See. So now, Opie did a video today. He put up a video where, see, in my opinion, new Opie, like post-Korn interview Opie, Jake Hudson Opie, actually has a good sense of humor about this and is like, no, I wasn't at that restaurant, but, oh yeah, who knows, maybe I'll come up to him, whatever, this and that. It didn't go that way. And this is why, shit. Ooh. And this is why I'm thinking we might have to take back the Opie redemption arc already. Now, I'll be very honest. I was already starting to think that this wasn't going to hang in there, like this wasn't going to last.
Too good to be true.
But I was hoping. Here is Opie on the Anthony joke. Again, I thought Anthony was joking about the, hey, look who just walked into the restaurant thing, but I don't know. Let's see. This is the Opster today. Now, first of all, first problem I saw with this video right off the bat that maybe Opie's slipping back into his old habits of no sense of humor and being too sensitive. Mm-hmm. It's 20 fucking minutes long.
Yeah, this should be a quick in and out, like, oh, haha, not me. I don't know.
And this is going to get into a lot of history. This is going to get into a lot of bad blood. See, I think the only way Opie can truly move on and be totally saved and redeemed is if he stops looking back on the past with animosity. He stops looking back on the past with anger and angst, and it's just an old part of his life that's in the rear view.
Right.
I feel like that's how Anthony sees it.
Yeah.
For the most part. He jokes about it.
Anthony can certainly talk about it without getting upset.
So here's the Opster. Remember, we even made a video saying, hey, we got to apologize to Opie. He's been pretty good with the corn lately. He's been more likable. But now, let's see. This was like his last test. This was like his final boss in a video game. Of like, okay, now Anthony busted your balls a little in a tweet. If you can respond to this one with, he's just fucking around. And like, wouldn't that be wild if we were in a restaurant together? Would I go talk to him? Would he go talk to me? Right. Would we, duke this thing out? Imagine if we got in a fight at a bar or something like that.
Let's talk about it.
Let's see if Opie can handle this with good-natured, good humor that we've seen from him recently. Opie Radio.
So Anthony posts this video, and he basically he's like, Opie's in the same restaurant as me. And what's so weird about the video, this is what makes it so creepy. I don't think Anthony filmed that video because he doesn't talk on the video. So then I'm starting.
Is anyone else noticing the spittle flying out of his mouth?
I didn't notice it yet.
I think that's spittle, unless it's like raining or there's some kind of thing.
You know what? I'll watch now.
There's spittle coming out of his mouth. He's so angry with Anthony
We need a
She's spittling.
Kevin Brennan towel
Yes.
to wipe away the
I think
spittle.
that maybe somebody, one of his dumb fans, took a quick video and said, "Hey, look, this guy kind of looks like Ope." And then
Do you not see the spittle?
That was raining spittle, or he gleeked or something, because that was everywhere.
He's already spittle outraging at the mere mention of Anthony. See, in order for Opie to truly redeem himself, he has to get over this last hump. It's the last thing. It's like becoming a monk, the last item of forgiveness, or like getting over alcoholism. You gotta forgive and forget.
Why wouldn't you just kind of laugh at this and be like, just talk about what you would do if you ran into him in public or something?
Sure.
I don't know.
And Anthony ran with it. The damn thing got millions of views over the weekend, and then people started attacking me like, "Oh, why don't you confront him? You're in the same restaurant as him. How was your dinner with Anthony?" Let me find the stupid thing.
He's like, the spittle is flying out of his mouth.
Yeah, you don't have to be so upset, do we?
See, I thought everybody knew this wasn't really Opie. First of all, there's no brunette woman in Opie's life.
You can
as far
see
as
the
anyone
resemblance. If you weren't paying attention, you could be like, "Oh, haha, look at that."
Sure.
But
like,
not him, yeah.
it looks a little like Opie, but
yes, it does.
He's too clean shaven. It looks more like Gary from the old radio station.
He is absolutely too clean shaven, but does resemble Opie. Which, by the way, is why Anthony filmed it.
Right, that's why Anthony filmed it.
Yeah.
I will say this, like filming someone in a restaurant is a little iffy, but like a little 8-second video.
It's,
I mean,
people take Snapchats and shit.
Yeah.
People send me videos and pictures of people that look like me all the time, and that one looks like me a little more than a lot of the stuff that has been sent to me over the years. But I found it really fucking strange. We're not in a place where Anthony would post a video like that and have a little fun with it. I don't know what his ulterior motive was.
Now this is where I don't know why Anthony. Well, I know why Anthony is his kryptonite. He's never going to get over that last hump of full redemption because he won't be able to let this go. What's Anthony's ulterior motive? From what I understand, he's just making a goofy video.
Right. He saw someone who looked like you, and everyone talks about the two of you as a show.
Yeah.
And haha, there it was. And it's, I don't know.
Anthony's ulterior motive is to get me go crazy on my live stream and then have a breakdown in front of a bunch of people and then beat my dog to death with an empty beer bottle.
Whoa. No,
I don't think so.
No, he's just a funny dude. That's it. He was just making a goof.
Although I would pay good money to see if he made it members only. I'd become a member. Opie beats his dog to death with a beer bottle because Anthony filmed him at a bar.
I feel like he has like golden doodles or something like that. What does he have?
Kind of a mangy little thing. You'll see him in this video.
Fucking weird. It's obsessive. It's creepy. And if he was in the same restaurant as me, first of all, that's not me. I'm going to say it again. Second of all, why wouldn't he talk as he's making the fucking video?
All right, see, now this is my problem. We're already getting too deep into the analysis of a stupid 8-second Twitter joke video.
Overanalyzing for sure.
Right, where it's a brooder filming it. Now, if you take a look back, you don't see a shadow cast, and the way the light hits in that restaurant, the shadow would cast forward and not backward. So this is clearly an edited clip, and that's...
See, now, if he had the Snyder cut of this, he'd be talking shit about me and all this stuff.
Release the Snyder cut of the Anthony Opie video from the restaurant.
Because most likely he wasn't even there, and he put that together through some video that maybe a fan sent to him.
So now Anthony is gathering videos from fans from restaurants and then putting them up on Twitter pretending he's there. I got to be honest, that seems like way too much work.
Yeah, but look, I can see where he got to that because these incels and shit online will go to the ends of the earth to come up with a new meme or a video.
But is Anthony going to repost it?
I don't think so.
I
think this was just Anthony who saw somebody that looked like him and thought it was funny.
Just being silly.
That's it.
Opie's overreacting to, and this is what got him so much shit before in the first place. You're overreacting to something silly. Anthony got your goat, basically.
It was just annoying because then everyone was like just attacking me all weekend over that. It's like, and they're like, "Who's
attacking
the chick?"
you?
Oh, like I'm doing something. Am I doing something really? as I've been at the ocean for the last 10 fucking days with my wife and kids.
He's spittling. Now, Opie, you don't need to come up with an alibi. We don't think you're fucking anybody. It's not a big deal. It's just you're taking it you're taking it too seriously because it's Anthony.
That would be pretty shitty though if somebody Anthony put this video up and then there's shitty people out there like, ooh, Opie's fucking around and stuff. Like, what? Like,
I don't think
you have too much time in your life if you're doing that.
I don't need his garbage. I don't need his nonsense. And simply put, it's not me. God.
See, and I didn't know that some people thought it was. I thought everyone knew this was kind of a gag. It kind of looks like him. It's silly.
I watched it a couple times, and I'm like, no, that's obviously not him. But first glance, I think if you only took it at first glance, you might think twice about it.
I thought that everyone thought it was a gag.
No,
I was wrong.
I don't think so.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did that. I'm ashamed that I did that.
Understand that's why he posted it.
That's Opie was in the restaurant with some nappy-headed hoes, baby. Hey,
just leave me alone. Leave me alone. You're
guys
garbage.
Gotta let this go.
You continue to be garbage.
Is that really a garbage move, though? It's mildly obnoxious.
At most. I mean, I think it just maybe bothers him to think that Anthony was getting any attention over something that looked like him.
Yeah, it's mildly annoying. Yeah. I'll give you that. But again, this seems to be the thing that gets him all riled up and gets him worked up, where he goes on a 20-minute Anthony rant, and now this isn't going to get any of this stuff to stop. You got to ignore. Or forgive, and move on.
It sounds like a weird, like, bitter ex thing when you hear that somebody else, like, said something about you that didn't sit right with you or something,
right.
But nothing was even said about it, I guess.
Fact is, I was moving on with my life, doing another radio show, and then you felt like you had to go on your dumb thing and go in for a complete attack. And then I had to respond. I'm saying it right now. Leave me alone. You don't talk about me. I won't talk about you. And that'll be it.
We know that's not true, though.
That's the problem, Ope. Like, you've shown in the past that you will bring him up if someone just leaves a comment. Like, if you're going to say, leave me alone, it's an Israel-Palestine type of thing. You've got to leave him alone. Even if he doesn't leave you alone, you've got to leave him alone.
Mutually assured.
Right. Whatever. You can't base it on what the other person does.
Right.
You know, you just got to go, if I'm leaving it alone, then I'm leaving it alone. But you can't go, why don't you just leave me alone? If you keep talking shit about him and taking little 5-minute pot shots, and every time you do, you put it up on your YouTube channel, which you should, it gets good views, then you can't be upset when Anthony plays it on his show and laughs at you.
Let's say Anthony had actually taken real footage of the real Opie at that restaurant, too. He didn't even say anything negative about him.
Right.
He just said, look who walked in.
And then everyone in the chat or everyone in the comment section would go, hey, go say hi.
Exactly. We would all die to see that, right?
Right. Go say hello.
Great.
Shit like this is where Opie's got to let it go if he ever wants full redemption, because all the shit online, it's all bullshit. It's not real life. If you see each other in a bar and you say hello, you'd talk things out and you'd figure something out. I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
Adrian Washington has a show on Saturday, and I bet you if you and I went to his show and we said we should all sit down and fucking talk this thing out, we would be fine after an hour or so.
We've said that about many people.
Right.
And like any of these people who claim to hate us online and stuff, if you met us in a bar and had a drink with us, I guarantee you like us in minutes.
I'm just talking about people in real life. Like Adrian,
sure. We've
said terrible things about each other. But I'm sure if we sat down, we go, hey, man, let's just call this bullshit.
How about Gary?
I could do it.
Could you? Okay.
I could do it. Okay. Absolutely. Because this thing has worked out pretty well so far.
His shit's going bananas.
His ratings are terrible. I feel good about it, I feel good about it.
Okay.
But yeah, Opie's inability to let it go. Because like Anthony clearly has a better ability to let it go because he can make joke tweets like that.
Yes.
Opie responds by going on a 20-minute fucking tirade where he brings up 19 other things from the past, and that's his kryptonite.
I wonder if somehow, like, Opie has some weird sense that, like, he's living rent-free in Anthony's head for some reason, and that Anthony's constantly trying to think about him and post that because that's what he does.
I think this is
but
just...
I think Anthony just saw somebody who reminded him of him.
And it was funny to him.
And it was funny to him, but I don't think Opie views it like he thought that process.
Yeah,
you know?
this is just such a deep-seated thing that, you know, whenever you see Anthony talk about it, there's laughs, there's smiles, there's goofing on. Yeah, he says mean things, but it's always in the service of comedy, whereas Opie just gets really mad. And look, I get it. You know, you hold a grudge. You know, you have years of pent-up frustration with the guy. But at some point, if you're going to say, leave me alone, you've got to let it go, too. That's just one of those things.
You enjoy your stupid life. I'll enjoy my stupid life, and that's how it should be.
He's spittling.
Everywhere.
But
relax, buddy.
because he kind of put that out there, like, oh, look who was in.
There's so many Steel Toe fans in his
I've
chat,
seen
by the
so
way.
many. Yeah, I know.
So many Steel Toe fans in his chat.
Yep.
I'm glad you guys are being nice, though. I don't want you going in there being a bunch of cunts.
Never go to somebody else's show on our behalf and be shitty.
Yeah.
Never.
Go, you know, tell them, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
the restaurant with me. Fucking asshole.
Jesus.
That's not an asshole thing to do.
It's I told you guys a long time ago. He's just garbage.
You guys
But
are
it's not a
both
joke.
fine.
Anthony always has some other motive. Do you know Aldo? Do you know him? Because I know him pretty well. Almost everything he does is calculated and has some kind of motive. It's
I
not
just
a
don't-
fucking
I don't see
joke.
that.
We're not in a place where I'm
He
gonna.
is spitting all over the place. This is just...
This is bad lighting for
This
the
is like
spittle.
watching a guy go like this, a stock go like this, and then all of a sudden you find out like they've been embezzling funds, and then you watch the stock price just nosedive.
He just really is seeing this whole ordeal as something it's not.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I said, this was the final boss for Opie, and he died, and now it's game over. You got to go back to the start and work your way back up again.
Yeah.
Except silly jokes from Anthony. Oh, we're both wearing a similar hat, are we? One thing I've always respected Opie for was that he never, to my knowledge, ran about how he gave Ann a start on radio and made him into a star.
I believe we've covered that rant a couple of times.
Yeah, we've heard it.
I wish I never would have discovered Anthony. I wish I would have left him in the air conditioning business.
I would have been great on my own. I didn't need him.
I would have been fine on my own. I didn't need Anthony.
I could have picked anybody up off the street
Yeah.
and done just as good a job
So
with
I
them.
think this Manouche is maybe being a dick.
I don't know.
No.
Anthony used to work a lot with his hands, you know. He this and that. He was in the construction business, you know. He was in the army.
I did not. At the time, it was the thing to do. But now with perspective, I wish I never made that
Quit
move.
spitting so much.
I
It's
would have been
making
way
you
better
I
off
know.
without that idiot in my life. If you want to know the damn truth,
I mean,
there's honesty for you today. But at the time, I was young and dumb and naive,
Full of
and
cum.
I didn't really truly know what I was getting myself into.
Hold
and
on.
I mean, you guys made millions
he
of dollars
completely
together.
talks about Anthony though, like it's like the worst relationship he'd ever been
Right.
in that he thought would last forever, but it was just toxic. He talks about it like a relationship.
That's
that way.
just it. I think Opie wanted a relationship. He wanted a friend. He wanted a partner. And at some point, it was that. But then at another point, it evolved. And
They
Anthony's
grew
like,
apart.
that's the guy. Well, yeah, Opie went and got married and had kids. Anthony went the other way. And, you know, it was a business partnership. You know, Penn always says this about Penn and Teller. He goes, Penn and Teller and I have never had a fight or have never had a breakup or anything like that because we're not in love with each other. We're
Right.
two guys who own a dry cleaning business together.
You don't behave the way Opie is right now
Right.
if he didn't love Anthony.
This sounds like scorned lover talk.
It sounds painful, to
Right.
be honest.
So I made a decision based on who I was back then. But this person, the person I am nowadays, there's no way I would make that same move. And if that meant that...
Yeah, but you're only... Okay, wait a minute. That's kind of bullshit because the only reason you're in the position you're in now to think about making that move or not making that move again is because you and Anthony got together and did a show. So that's kind of unfair because you don't end up here. I'm sorry.
Right.
I hate to say that about both those guys. Obviously, we have a working relationship with Compound, so you can say we're a little biased. That's totally fine. We've had our back and forth with Opie, so that's totally fine. But neither of you end up where you are now. Neither of you are nearly as successful if that break doesn't happen.
But one of them has acknowledged that and the other denies that.
One of them thinks they would have been a big radio star with or without Anthony. I'd even argue that without Jim Norton, neither of you would have been as successful.
Okay.
That all three of you needed each other.
If there wasn't a giant radio show out there, so be it. That Anthony video just annoyed. No one annoyed me. It was people that honestly thought it was me. I'm like, will you look close?
Here's my deal. It's the internet. Turn off Twitter for the day. Let it go. You're a multimillionaire. Let it go.
That does seem beneath you.
Yeah, it is beneath you. That's the thing, Opie. You need to sometimes tell these people on the internet, like, you don't deserve a response from me.
Dude, I have made that decision recently too. Like these people that are being shitty to me on Twitter, that's not real life, and I totally decided that's beneath me too. I don't acknowledge these people anymore.
But you want to drive these people nuts? Here's what you do: don't give them the access. Then they yell and scream about you all day long. You're in their head rent free constantly.
Nobody knows
because
about
you
it.
don't give them the access. You give them the access, they feel like they're playing puppeteer strings with you.
It does just kind of bum me out here though that Anthony didn't even say a negative word about him.
Right.
See me on camera every day. Yeah, it looks like me a little bit, but
No, it did.
Jesus.
It did.
Oh, didn't you post a video about Ant looking like Andrea Mitchell? I think you're overreacting a little. Don't block, please. I ain't blocking you out, though. No, because I know Anthony. He has. It's never what it is. He always has some ulterior motive.
I don't think
he's very good at manipulating people.
Does he? I feel like he's the kind of guy who doesn't have time for that.
Because the video doesn't have his voice.
Nobody would talk.
He's in a crowded bar. What do you want him to do? Go, Opie!
Right.
Opie! What are you doing, Opie?
I can't think of a time I've done this, but if I were to be trying to sneak record a video of somebody, I'm not talking about it.
Yeah.
You know? I'm not drawing attention.
Didn't even have his voice. So I don't even think he filmed that.
You're thinking too hard.
Maybe I came in a little hot with the video, but I just simply don't like Anthony.
That's self-awareness.
He's always up to something. He's always up to no good. And then getting people like just attack me all weekend over that video. Like, why don't you go confront him? You're in the same restaurant as him.
Yeah,
people like,
that's not attack.
I gotta be honest, this one's actually bumming me out because he was starting to kind of figure shit out with the corn and
I want to stay back in those days.
The playfulness, yeah. And now it's that now, and that kind of ruins like the last couple of weeks.
Sure.
And again, it's because this is his kryptonite. The Anthony thing is his kryptonite.
It's kind of like your grandma's dying and you don't want to remember her the way she is when she's dying. You want to remember her like 10 years ago.
Right.
Everything was just awesome.
Stevie J says Opie should stop sending his body double to shadow Anthony like that. Yeah, I mean, that's really inappropriate.
I will say that person looked a lot like him.
He did.
A lot.
Citizen M says Opie is speaking as if the guy in the video is morbidly obese or painfully ugly. It's just a guy who he admits looks a lot like him.
Yep. It was literally nothing more than that.
Yeah, I mean, Opie's got some deep-seated shit that he's got to let go of. Any therapist would listen to Opie for 2 minutes and they go, dude, you've got to let this shit go.
Yep.
You've got to let this shit go. Let it be in the past. You made millions of dollars.
Look where you are now.
He talks like a guy who still wants something from Anthony but doesn't know what that something is.
He talks like a guy who hasn't spent the last 10 days at the beach with his wife and kids.
Yes.
Like that is real life, okay? Anything else doesn't matter.
If I'm Opie, I almost don't even have Twitter.
No.
You know?
I mean, God. If listeners didn't reach out to me on there, I'd say fuck Twitter. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know?
I just... It's sad because like it's very clear what happened. Opie wasn't getting any views for anything but the Anthony and Jimmy stuff.
Sure.
even like the corn stuff and the Chad stuff and all that, it's not doing as well as the Anthony and Jimmy stuff. It's still kind of in the hundreds, numbers where when we get a video like that, we go, oh shit, that one bombed. And now he's going to do, it's a self-feeding loop, unfortunately. He's going to look worse for whining and bitching about Anthony again. But it's going to get more views than anything else he's ever done. And he's going to feel like he needs to keep doing it. But it's making him miserable inside. Take it from me, Ope. We walked away from like some cash cows view-wise because we were like, this is getting too ugly. This is getting too gross. I don't like the way it's making me feel inside. And yeah, we took a hit for it. But you know what? You'll rebuild with something else. You're a talented broadcaster. You'll rebuild with something else, and you'll build your way back up that way. Do that because
I agree.
The Anthony stuff and the Jimmy stuff, it gets you more views than Chad or the corn or anything else. But it doesn't make you happy. Like the corn stuff, we saw a genuinely happy Opie. The Anthony stuff, he's spittling, he's yelling, he's going into these almost nervous breakdown, like paranoid rants. And you're like, dude, let this go.
Just so nervous about what everyone thinks of him.
It takes a lot to give up the views, but sometimes you got to give up the views. We gave up the views. We're going to be fine. He gives up the topics that give you the views. You'll build up the views somewhere else. I promise you. Pragmatic Baxter says his career peaked with the corn interview. Pro Gun says if I had Opie money, I would completely disappear off social media.
I've said that before too. I don't know why even be on there.
Yeah. Like I get
Go
like
enjoy the beach.
Elon Musk goes and he'll tweet, but I don't think Elon Musk is like reading his Twitter and like checking it out.
He does interact with a lot of people on Twitter, so I think he reads some of it, but I don't think he cares about whatever it says. I think Opie does care.
P.A. Cheddar says, is it bad that I want to watch corn and a potato more than Opie? No, enjoy the corn and the potato. Those two have fun with their gimmick.
And when you like things, you should just go like those things. When you don't like something, just go watch the thing you like,
Yeah, it's just it's the Anthony thing for some reason that just really seems,
because that was the highlight of his career.
And
it's hard.
Is it because Anthony's still doing it? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Chris says, or you know what? Maybe he feels like he never got the credit that he deserved.
Yeah, there could be part of that. I think that's why he doesn't like it when people like you go and say, hot take of the day, Opie wasn't the funny one.
Right, that's the whole thing that got him shitting on us and canceling our interviews because I said he wasn't the funny one, and I didn't even mean it as an insult.
That is a prime example of him probably not getting the credit that he was hoping for.
Perhaps.
So.